Hey guys, this is the Forerunner server, and in this video I want to show you my Ghan and Cerberus combo specifically in Gear Raid 1. So this is my Ghan, nearly 70,000 BP as you can see. He's in a broken set and he has the Immortal Warrior set. For his gear he has crit damage main, defense bonus, picked up loads of crit rate, some attack speed and some defense in the subs where I can. And on his left side he's got the Immortal Warrior for some defense on the main stat, more defense on the other one, as well as some crit rate just to get him up to 100% crit rate. And overall you can see 4,000 base defense plus 8.5k defense, 100% crit rate, 107% bonus crit damage. His skills are not max, but pretty close. He's only missing one in his ultimate, which I decided I didn't really care about. I have got him awakened one. I gave him a legendary Sage Soulstone just because he's fancy and I like to be fancy. And for his artifact, I have given him the Goddess's Grace because it grants him more defense. And he scales on defense. He's a defense scaling defender, so he can actually deal some pretty good damage. I'm not going to go over exactly how the heroes work in this because that would make it a very long video. All you really need to know is that Ghan is a defender that scales off of defense, and he is the legendary lord for the Chaos Dominion faction, which grants damage to allies based on their health being low. He also has these AoE cleaves as a retaliate mechanic. And as for Cerberus, the main king of this video, I have built him in a Calamity set and a Styx set. The Styx set is actually very intentional, so I'll explain that in a second. As for the stats, it's just standard DPS stuff, attack, crit rate, and some crit damage. On the mains, we have two lots of attack bonus, and the third one being crit damage. They're reasonable pieces, but you can see almost no purple, just one here, so not great gear by any means. The reason I've given him Styx instead of the Curse set is that the Curse set requires him to be within your attack range. And if you actually look, his attack range is only his tile. And I have tested this, and Cerberus will not gain Curse stacks on adjacent enemies, just the ones that are literally inside his tile. So he's actually not good with the Curse gear at all. You really do want to give him the Styx set if you're going to build him that way. Also, his death and respawn time is too long. His ult's going to only be once, so he's not going to be good in the later sets as well. So I think Styx is probably one of the better sets for him, other than maybe the Ageless Wrath set. And you know, he doesn't even have very good crit rate on this gear. It's just generally not a very good set of gear. As for skill ups, he's basically maxed, other than his basic attack. That's because they added this later on. I'd already maxed Cerberus before they added in skill ups onto basic attacks. He has one awakening, which is adding a slow to his deployment effect. In terms of which artifact, I give him the Eye of Sin artifact normally when I'm not testing Valkyria. So yeah, that's it. That's the build on these two heroes. I guess I should show you my Vierna as well, because she's going to be part of this video, though not the focus. She has a Curse set with pretty good gear, not incredible, but pretty good gear. And she has an Annihilating Might set on the weapon set, which is decent but not crazy. So she's got pretty decent stats, but nothing ridiculous. And she's pretty much max skilled, again, other than her first attack. She has one awakening, which is debuffing enemies with magic resistance reduction, which is really nice. And for her artifact, she has a Skull of Desecration, though actually the Tear of Starlight is better, which I'll show you in another video. So the purpose of this video is to show you Gear Raid 1, Stage 20. I'm just going to show you my auto team and I'll explain how it works. It's not going to be a very long video, it's not exhaustive, and it's certainly not a guide, because Ghan is very, very rare, and Cerberus is very rare. So I just want to show you how powerful these two are together. I do have a whole team here. This is basically just my auto team for Stage 20. And you can see at the moment there's nothing really unique happening. I have my two AoE hitters with Dolores. I'm timing things to get the damage out on the waves a bit sooner. I'm trying to conserve ultimates where I can and time things with my Vierna. And I obviously have the Power of Dominance bonus, which has been moved over here apparently. It's the Forerunner server, so they do tweak things. But the main thing I want to show you is when I place down my Cerberus. That is the clutch of this video. The rest of this isn't super hard to achieve, but keeping Cerberus up at the right time is tricky. So I've placed him now because these guys do massive damage to the wall. He didn't get his ult up, there wasn't even a Dolores ult up, it was just Cerberus, and all of the enemies are just evaporated. He didn't do anything, you know, just placed him and he died. He didn't cast his ult, he didn't get a Dolores attack boost on him, he just straight up got placed and died, and his ground pull was enough to just delete the enemies. It's obviously very hard to see with this because of the auto speed 3 times. After this run is done, I'll show you quickly how he functions and how much damage he can do. I won't try and replicate the run because the timing was actually really tricky. You see, I just placed him again that time, so he's died again, and these guys are taking so much damage and they all just died so fast that Eloin didn't even start to move. Of course, I do have Power of Dominance, so that will affect it, but I will show you exactly how it works in just a minute. So there we go, that's the end of the run. I'll show you the damage, and bear in mind this damage is going to be very heavily skewed towards the mages at the moment because they're able to be more effective with Power of Dominance, but this run was basically achieved because of the couple of deployments of Cerberus. So bear in mind Cerberus only went down a couple of times. He still dealt 47 million damage, and those two narrow windows where he died, he did 47 million. He beat a Karma constantly being boosted by a Dolores, and this is an A3 Karma in pretty good gear. So that's kind of crazy, right? Vierna is getting all this damage mainly through the execute mechanic. She's not actually dealing that much damage normally, it's just the enemies being massively reduced at the end by Cerberus and then her culling them to make sure that they all die. So really, this is Cerberus achieving this, it's not Vierna. So Power of Dominance is turned off. We'll go to fight, and you can see the lineup here. So I have only Aeon as my Curse Lord, I have Reeve if I want to slow, and I have Vierna for some kill, but mainly down here we have Ghan and we have Cerberus. Cerberus is duo, so he could be in the Curse faction, but I think he is much better in the Chaos faction. So I'm not going to beat the run. Like I said, it's quite fiddly, and I haven't really played this account in a while. I just want to show you how much damage he can do so you can get a better appreciation of just how good this guy is. So this is my normal placement, and you may be wondering why do I do it this way. It's so that my Dolores' ult can reach the middle tile, because I want her to be boosting my Cerberus. So now I have the ultimate up on Dolores and Karmat, and we can start to whittle the enemy down. This is with no Power of Dominance, but they get lower, and then I ult with my Vierna, and we can kill most of the wave, leaving only 2 remaining, which is pretty good as a result. I'm happy enough with that. We have the ult back up on my Dolores again, so that's a good job there. We have a heal coming out from the boss, another Jungle's Grace, which is a pain, but we do really want to get rid of these enemies here if possible. So I'm just going to chuck down some damage. I'll ult now, because we want to get rid of this persistent damage so they don't get in the way of Cerberus. We don't want Cerberus to die super early. So we'll get some damage out now. We'll wait for Dolores' ult to run down and the heal to come. And then now we can ult, and we've killed all of the AoE damage dealers. So now as they reach the wall, I can place down Cerberus. So Cerberus is down. He's not getting hit by the enemies. The wall is getting mashed. So this isn't the best timing. It's just the best timing for me to show you what I want you to see. These guys are not going to be able to do a great deal of damage to this. They're going to really struggle. However, my Cerberus is about to get hit by these AoE fields, so he's getting affected by the Dolores attack boost, and now I can use Spectre Binded, his ultimate, to boost his attack or his damage by 100%. So now he's suddenly in range of these red rings, he takes damage, he dies, and now watch the damage instances, 214, 214, he's just absolutely crushing the damage output. Like, sure, they got Pyre because I waited way too long, but you can see how much damage he was doing in just that narrow window where he was actually dead and his ground effect was in place. And if we look at the damage done in that narrow window, he hit 26 million damage. It's actually ridiculous how powerful that is. So we're doing a second run around, and this time I'll do things differently just so we can get a bit further into the run. I won't use a Dolores boost or an ult on Cerberus. It will just be him plus Ghan's Lord bonus, giving him 60% damage and 20% attack. And we'll wait for the second wave of enemies. We won't do it for this wave, we'll wait for the next load of enemies. I should, of course, be deploying other heroes, but the point isn't really to succeed in this. It's just to show you how much damage Cerberus can achieve by himself. So we can get rid of these guys, and I'll drop Cerberus now. So the Dolores ult has ran out. It's just Cerberus. There's nothing else boosting him. And even still, you can see he's ticking out quite a lot of damage. It's just flying out on the enemies. And it's lasting a while. You can see this is going a while. So I can now boost with Dolores on my Vierna. And this effect is still going. It's still dealing massive damage to them. So now I can just ult. And look, that entire wave is gone, plus this guy on the right. And it's all just damage from Cerberus. Cerberus is dealing so much damage. It's crazy. He died with no ultimate up and with no Dolores boost. That was just Cerberus plus the Ghan Lord bonus. And if we check the stats, you can see, sure, he hasn't beat them this time, but he did 17.4 million damage in about 10 seconds of being dead without any other bonuses. He wasn't Dolores boosted. He didn't even use his own ultimate. That is just Cerberus dying by himself with nothing else added on. So if you can time Cerberus to die with his ultimate, with a Dolores boost, he just evaporates anything in front of him. I've used him in the sustained DPS arena to just instantly eliminate some of the later waves. It's just ridiculous. You can win the wave in like 2 seconds, some of the really high-end waves. And he's, of course, very good in Gear Raid 1. It's just the timing's a bit tricky. He gets a longer respawn time every time he dies. So in my auto run, you can see I have a Volker present. That's to reduce his respawn time so that I can get him up more often. Anyway, that's all I wanted to go over, just to quickly show you how powerful Cerberus can be in Gear Raid 1. It's just a quick example video, it's not a detailed guide or anything. I just wanted to show you his death effect just does ridiculous damage in AoE, and it doesn't need anything, but if you can synergize it with Dolores' ult and Cerberus' own ult at the moment of his death, it's just insane. It will just annihilate everything. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Just a quick one there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.